Welcome to the Moms That Read podcast. I'm McKenzie.
I'm Kaylee.
And I'm Katarina. Today we are going to be talking about our June book club, The Knight and the Moth, which we all really liked.
Yeah.
We were so excited about it because we were obsessed with the Shepherd King duology.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was a good one.
This was a good one.
Before we get into that, let's talk about our recent reads. What are y'all reading?
I just finished Play Along, which is in the Windy City series.
That's number 2, right?
It's number
Series that
4.
you just, like,
Okay, you just put the number 2 5-star on Goodreads.
Because apparently I skipped that one when I was rating them. I have read all 4 books this
You're
month.
like done.
No, there's one more book, and I would have read it had I not had to read Night and the Moth.
He was just like, this got in my way.
I have found my new romance.
Like you're obsessed.
My top romance series
Ever?
right now. Like series, absolutely.
Who writes that?
Liz Tom Ford.
Okay, I have heard that name.
Freaking obsessed.
It's
Freaking
that good.
obsessed. Like the first one is okay. Like, you know, getting her jitters out writing, I guess.
Yeah.
But the second, third, and fourth one, all 3 of them made my top 10 book boyfriends. And I know we just released our book boyfriends episode last week, but they would have made my
Who
top
would they
10.
have pushed out?
I don't even remember who was on my top 10 without a list in front of me. But Ryan Shea, and then there's brothers, Kai and Isaiah Rhodes. All 3 of them, absolutely.
That's the one you posted about on TikTok today.
Isaiah
I did
Rhodes.
see that.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with him. You would love him.
Really?
You would absolutely love
Okay.
Isaiah.
He's number 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the 4th book. Like, if you don't read any other ones, read the Rhodes brothers.
Okay.
Like the 3rd and 4th one.
Okay.
Isaiah
Why
is
would I like him? Is it Friends to Lovers?
kind of like Isaiah, and it's Isaiah and Kennedy. He plays baseball, and Kennedy is like the athletic trainer.
Okay.
And so Kai and Isaiah's mom died whenever they were little. And so every day, he believes like every day on the day that she died, something significant happens. He met her on the day that she died. Like, not the exact day, but like on the day she died. Anyways, and then like this is not a spoiler because it's literally what the whole book is about, but they went to Vegas and got married on accident. Like that's what so they're married in the book. So the scenes they're married. You know
How
what I
did
mean?
they accidentally get?
They got drunk and got married.
So funny. Sounds like a
But
Friends
he
episode.
has-
I was just gonna say that. No.
Ross and Rachel.
He has pined after her since the first day he like saw her, but she was engaged. And he was like the playboy dude, but the minute he found out she wasn't engaged anymore, he stopped seeing any other girls and was like, I've been waiting on you to notice me. Like,
Okay. That's sweet.
Oh my
love
gosh.
him so
I'm
much.
gonna have
Isaiah,
I'm going to have to read that.
you'll binge him like I did. I promise. You'll binge them like I did.
Okay, so I just read a Kindle Unlimited book that I found, but I also just found the version of it in Target too. I was like, wow, okay.
She sent it to me. That's
Because
pretty.
it's got spade edges. I was like, wow. It's actually super short. It's less than 300 pages. It's called Jilted by V.
Oh
Keelan.
yeah. I saw. Yeah.
Obsessed. I read it in less than 3 days and could not put it down. The guy is a ex-pro rugby player, but is a billionaire and pines after this girl who works at his dad's firm. Slash, like, she writes bridal columns and her fiance left her at the altar.
Oh, no.
It is
Interesting.
so good.
And it's less than 300 pages.
less than 300 pages.
So you can read it real quick.
He is British.
Oh,
Top
yeah.
tier. Top tier.
I dig an accent.
It was so good. It's probably, I put it on my list of like top 10 reads so far this year.
Interesting.
I could not put
That's
it
so
down.
fun.
It
Interesting.
was really good.
So I just read The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. Y'all may have know. Y'all
is
may
that the
know
one
it.
that has the,
It's
like
the
Yes,
yes,
okay.
okay.
I've
and like
seen-
the blood splatter.
Uh-huh.
And it's also the perfect divorce.
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't read that one yet.
Is that is it connected?
I think so.
Okay.
It's like one of the biggest thrillers, and it came available on like audiobooks. I was like, I'll try it. It was okay. I like 3-starred it. It wasn't as thriller as I was expecting. It was like all a court case, and I was like,
That's weird.
yeah. I mean, there was thrill to it, but the whole thing was like in a court case, and I was like, that's not what
Was
I
it
was
at least
expecting.
multiple POVs or?
That's weird.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. I was like, I had high hopes because
Yeah,
it's so
everybody is
big. I mean, you don't even read
talking
thrillers
about
and you
it.
know what it is.
Yeah,
So
I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah.
And not like ever, but the cover, if you take
Yeah.
the cover
Yeah.
off, I've seen the book's really pretty.
Yeah,
But no,
I was
don't really know
surprised.
anything about
But
it.
I might try the
really
next
weird.
one if it comes available
Yeah.
in like audiobook and just see if it's better. But I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway,
I'm very
our July book.
excited
Do you want to?
for our July book? It's my birthday month. But we are reading Guild. It's the Plated Prisoner series, which I've heard so much about.
So
I've
many good
heard the first
things.
book is kind of like your gateway into it, and it's not great.
I honestly,
So I hope that's not the case.
Like ACOTAR.
Yeah, but then I've heard the other 6 books are amazing.
Okay, but like, why can people not get it right the first time?
That's what I'm
Why
saying.
Are all these series.
Probably all the world building. Like there's so much
That's
world
true.
building, but
That's
I've heard it's
true.
like King Midas, like
Yeah.
the Golden Touch.
Oh.
Have you not like the old story, like the
Oh,
like
okay.
child,
Like, just like
yeah,
the-
like everything he touches
Yeah.
turns to gold. I think it's like based on
Oh.
that. Plated
Have you
Prisoner.
read
It
it?
makes
Um,
sense.
I thought it was a lot. I think the other ones are a lot longer, but this one's only
Oh,
400
yeah.
pages.
No, like some of the other ones are like
That's
700 or
nice.
800.
Yeah, I was
pages.
about to say, I definitely saw a couple of them. Like,
Gleam and Goldfinch. They're
Yeah.
like huge.
yeah, Gleam
How many are there?
is. Oh, there's.
There's I think there's 7,
There's 5.
You are kidding.
6. There's 6.
6.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a big series.
sorry.
But it's finished. I think.
I
at this
literally
point, right?
told Katarina, I was like, when this got picked, I was like, this is just another series that I'm going to add. Oh, yeah. One of them is 738 pages.
Yeah, they're really long.
Listen.
I
They're
told
long.
Katarina, I was like, this is another series that's going to go
That
onto
might
my
be
kinda
my
shocked you
next
picked it
series for
for this.
2026.
Listen, I'm fine with reading the first book in the series and not ever finishing it.
Yeah.
So,
I can if I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm like with Heat or with
Spark.
Spark. I've had to force myself, but now I like the second book, so I plan on reading the third one soon.
That's
but
how I feel like Guild is. Everyone I've read or heard about has said that. So
well,
we'll see. But apparently from what I understand, I could be completely wrong, but I think she's a prisoner of King Midas.
Okay.
But like the MMC's name, I don't think is Midas. So I don't know if I don't know how. She
I
made it
really
work
don't know
out,
much about
but
this book. I kind of just
heard
honestly
about
thought Atmosphere was going to get chosen.
Yeah.
And it didn't. So,
that
Yeah.
was huge.
I
too.
know.
It is huge.
so
Yeah, I was shocked.
but
I'm digging
anyways.
Taylor
It'll be
Jenkins
interesting.
Reid's right now, so
Yeah.
I kind of want to read it. Just
It's
But
like I'm gonna
she-
pick it up from the library on Tuesday. So I'll read it this
oh.
probably next week.
I'm not in the mood to have a good cry. Like I
can give you other ones of hers that are not cry
Okay.
books.
that would work because I don't need to cry like I did with One Tree Loves.
Yeah, no, not all her books are
Sobbing
like
on the way
that.
to school.
7 Husbands is fantastic.
I do need to read that one.
I do too.
I feel like there's a bunch of,
but
like,
I don't know.
book talk books that I've yet to even touch.
That's been like 5 years since it's been
it's
popular.
but it's still around.
Well,
though.
and it
People
just
still
came
talk
out
about
with
it.
sprayed edges. So like I think people are now more excited about it again.
Yeah.
Even though it was like it's not been popular for a few years.
Sprayed edges will do things to people.
They will.
Yeah. So anyway, Night in the Moth.
What did
Okay.
y'all rate it?
5-star.
I gave it a 5-star, but
Probably
I
4.5
don't know,
to
probably
5.
like 4.75.
Yeah.
That's
I can
probably
see
what
I
that.
I'd
think
give it.
I'm happy with 4.75.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite a 5-star, but it was like almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was different. I'll give Rachel Gillig that. Very
Whoa.
different
Yeah.
than, but even very different from the Shepherd King
I thought it
series.
was different
yeah.
but similar. Does that make
In the-
sense?
I felt like in the atmosphere of it, it was similar.
Yeah. Like the eeriness was similar.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought that oh my gosh. I just blanked on his name.
Rory.
Yes, Rory.
Yeah.
I also thought that Raven and Rory were kind of similar.
Oh, I've heard
yeah.
him compared
I
to
can see
Elm,
that.
so that's interesting.
I kind of got
I
Raven
can see
vibes.
more Raven vibes.
Yeah, I could see that too.
But I'm also very happy that there was more romance in this book.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a ton of romance with Elm, but with
Not
the
with
main
the main
Elspeth
character.
and
Yeah.
Raven.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
So-
I loved it. I loved the romance subplot. It was so good, and it was just enough.
It was
to-
definitely the subplot though in this book.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Like-
but even just him, the whole enemies to lovers,
The
or
banter between
the
them.
banter, and
even when they
him
weren't
pining
like
after
yeah.
her.
Even when they
Love.
weren't like actually together and when they hated each other, the banter was
My thing was, were they ever really enemies? Like
they were
I feel
in the
like first,
beginning.
yes, because he
Kind of.
despised everything that had to do with
Yeah.
the cathedral.
that's true.
So
I-
think he
but as soon as he got to
genuinely-
know her, I don't
Yes.
think it was
I mean,
actually
honestly,
enemies.
from the beginning, I think there was something.
Oh, yeah.
That drew
I
them
think
to
so,
each
too.
other, because literally he was like, I saw you.
Yeah.
And I think his love language was just getting on her nerves. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But even there was a quote in the beginning where she was like, I felt him watching me. So,
Yeah.
like, they were drawn to each other
Yeah.
from the very beginning.
Yeah. Okay, so you compared it to Quicksilver when you first started.
Yeah, because they got in water. And
I
then
guess,
they heard
but
voices.
Do you see it now?
I mean, honestly, kind of. I was
Really?
comparing the gargoyle to, like, the sprites in Quicksilver.
Or the
Because,
not the what's
or not the fire
the
sprite.
little angry man?
The fire sprite.
Okay, yeah. There's
The
sprites in
ones
this book too,
that,
so that's
like,
confusing.
Touched.
I mean, honestly,
2 different breeds of Sprite.
Archer, that was his name.
Archer, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I kind of thought Bartholomew and Archer were kind of the same too.
I did not picture him how you pictured him.
Okay, side plot. I pictured him as the freaking trolls from Frozen. Like,
were
that
too
is
cute.
all
No.
my brain was
I was
doing.
picturing like the evil gargoyles
Yes.
like on people's like doors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like big. I didn't picture him as tiny. Like
But
I
he-
pictured him as like
but I
pretty
think he
large.
was
Carry
tiny.
them. But he could carry people. Like, at the end, he
I was
carried
thinking
Maud
him,
when
like-
she was
So he must
injured.
have been
human sized.
bigger.
That's what I kind of
Okay,
with
yeah.
like wings
That would
and like
make sense.
talons.
Mm-hmm.
Like I pictured him
Okay.
creepy, but then he had a good
I
personality.
need her to give us some illustrations because I'm
There
like,
was a
trying to
pin that I
think about-
sent you, but I think that they're
Yeah.
bigger than the pin.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're-
Someone on TikTok put, and it went viral, I guess. Was like, oh, I see a gargoyle, and it was like a little garden gnome in her like garden. I was like, that's
Oh,
actually
my
hilarious.
gosh.
That's not how I picture it. though.
Nope, not
There
how
were
you
so many
picture
things
them.
that I highlighted from Bartholomew. I was cracking up. The one where he said, welfare instead of farewell.
Oh, I totally missed that.
What? It was so funny. It was like at nighttime and they were leaving and he was like, welfare.
I missed
Oh,
that.
my
There
God.
was one thing he said about drowning. Hold on.
Oh my gosh,
I
she's
think
not a
you
very
commented-
good swimmer, but she's really good at drowning. And I was like, I am so dead right
That
now.
was the best part of the book.
I am dead right now.
What happened?
I was
good.
laughing so hard.
I
and
was so confused though for the first like 75% why he was like calling everyone Bartholomew.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, because in Fable, everyone was like, I think that's like, not that it was his name. Obviously, it was his name, but they were not saying it was his name. But they were like, I guess we're going to call him that. But I'm like, but he's not calling himself Bartholomew. He's like referring
Yeah.
to everyone else that
But
way,
then we learned that that's his
Yeah.
way to remember his name.
actual
He
name.
just calls everybody
which is
Bartholomew.
crazy.
That's so sad.
Which
His
is
story.
crazy. Does that mean,
in the
okay,
end.
so he obviously was a guy.
He was a boy.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
That's why they
after-
don't have boys anymore.
well, and after him, they all like picked women. But does that mean that all the other gargoyles are actually
Yes,
Women.
they were
Yes.
divided.
every single
Yeah.
one? They were, but
And so also was the heart weaver,
The Heart Weaver.
Heart Weaver, yeah.
Wasn't she also a diviner at one point?
I don't think
know.
that she was a diviner, but I think that she died and turned into a gargoyle, basically,
Okay.
because she
Yeah, I
starved
don't-
herself of the water.
What's going to happen to Sybil?
I don't know, because
She
they
has
destroyed
been-
everything,
And
and
she's
there's
been
no.
ingesting the water. Is she
yeah.
not going to turn into a gargoyle?
her eyes are already stone.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
So
I figured that out really early. I was like, they have to be stone. That's
Yeah,
why they're being
see, I
covered.
didn't.
Oh,
I didn't know what. I knew the eyes were there.
That was
but
my
I
guess
didn't-
early on, but I was like, I don't know why, and I couldn't figure out. And then
Yeah.
as soon as I started realizing that the gargoyles were diviners, I was like, 100%.
Well,
that's what it is.
I had put in the book the thing that I thought the gargoyles were like her favorite diviner of the group.
They were.
Which they were.
they
so
were,
like
yeah.
out of the 6.
What happened to the
whichever
other
one-
5 though?
They
She
got
killed them.
taken to the gods, so that because
Oh,
that's
okay.
the only water they get is the water from their blood. and
Yeah.
that keeps them
She
alive.
said that she would use the limestone
Yeah.
and would go and get the girls, break their necks, and then give them to the different hamlets. Is that how you say that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She would
yeah.
deliver them to them because of
She
the
was
water.
psychotic.
She was.
psychotic. I just am
hated her.
baffled with how the book ended, because I thought that the next book would be kind of like you said, and them trying to kill the abbess.
yeah.
Abbess. How do you
Yeah.
say
Yeah,
her name?
Aisling.
Yeah,
Aisling,
that one.
yeah.
Anyways, and
So now
Right.
is the second book going to be Rory and Maud trying to rescue?
Sybil?
honestly,
Maybe.
I think Sybil's going to be the one to outwit Benji.
Oh,
You think she'll kill him?
for sure?
I don't know. I don't know if she'll
I could
kill
s-
him, but maybe she'll become queen. That way, she's the queen if she does kill him. And her and Rory can take up the throne.
I feel like there's going to be 2 plots here because of what could happen to her since she can't get access to the spring anymore for the water. Like, I think there's going to have to be 2, much like Xaden becoming Venom. Like, is there going to be a second subplot where she's having to figure out what's going to happen to her?
Well, and much like Two Twisted Crowns, when Elspeth was
the monster was
in her, and then they had to figure.
Well,
out
and in Two Twisted Crowns, the plot kind of turned to a different character too. So I wonder if Maud and Rory will be like a much bigger part. I mean, not that they weren't a big part this time, but if something, not between them, but something will happen there that makes a bigger plot.
I do feel like there will be 2 stories, like Maud and Rory's POV, and then Benji.
Oh. She did say that because someone asked if it was going to be structured the same way that Shepherd King was,
with
and she said
books?
no. With 2 books, yes, but with like how it switched from Elsbeth to Elm.
Yeah,
and that second romance subplot, she's not doing that. She's
so it should be
all the
Sybil
way through.
all the way through.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I don't know. I knew the king was sketch. There was at one point that I was like, he ain't right. Something's happening. He is turning. He's going to turn. I did not expect him to wait until they got all of which that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
not artifacts, but
the artifact.
What were they called?
The omens.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting.
I really liked that. You mentioned it being a lot like a Games and Trials.
Yes.
And I
it wasn't
loved
fully,
that.
but there were, and I don't think every
It was like a
omen
quest.
was. Yes,
I loved
but there were a
that.
couple omens that were what was the one where she was in the water?
The oar.
The
The oarsman.
That one was definitely Games and Trials.
Yeah, that one was Games
because
and
she had to
Trials.
essentially like defeat him with his powers.
Yeah.
But then the Heartswore Weaver was like, you can just
Please kill me.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
please
fine.
kill me.
And I'll tell you everything.
Which I thought was interesting.
I'm trying to find the highlights. I highlighted this where Bartholomew said, I'm about to pass my own wind if they don't wrap this up. I was laughing.
He was so
hard.
hilarious.
I loved him.
But like, it was funny when he was like really serious.
Yeah.
It was.
Because he was like very poetic when he was serious. And then he was hilarious.
Yeah.
For most of it.
I had a part where I was like, ooh, eyes on me, Dane, where he said, and I, prideful disdain, godless, want to drag you into the dirt with me. I said, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There was one.
Liked him.
I really
Oh my
liked
gosh.
I liked him.
Hold on.
And his eyeliner.
I didn't like his eyeliner.
Okay,
I
but
know
it
what
made
you're-
sense at the end. Why?
But they
only
but I
did
still
the
don't like
face
it.
paint for those specific sprites. So why?
Unless the knights
did he have
didn't they?
eyeliner the
I
whole
thought the
time?
knights wore them all the time because it.
No,
Wasn't
they
there something
only
with the
painted their
gods?
face because of the birches,
The birch sprites.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
and they were
But
supposed
he had
to look
it-
like they didn't have eyes. But he did it all the time.
true.
I don't know.
It must be a gothic thing. I mean,
Maybe.
One of my favorite quotes was, "It's not true, you don't have to be good or useful for someone to care about you." And I was like, I freaking love that because everybody
Yes.
always wanted something from Sybil except for him. He's like the only one who was like, I like you because you're a person, like not because
Yeah.
you're useful.
Yeah.
I loved it.
When she told him his name or her name,
Yes. That
the
was
way
like,
she did it, I was like, it was a little weird.
It
but
was
like,
a little weird, but in
but
the
it made
context
sense.
of the
No,
book,
in
it
the
made
it was
sense.
so
book,
sweet.
And I was
Oh.
like, that was the sweetest thing.
Yeah, in the
I
context
loved
of the
that.
book.
he is a top 10 for me.
You think so?
I
I don't
mean,
think he's top 10 for me, but I really
honestly,
liked him.
I loved him so much, but the eyeliner is a big no for me.
I'm just gonna pretend it's not there.
I
can wear his
can't.
He's
night
got like emo
helmet.
vibes. Also, didn't he have
can't
like
look
long
past
hair?
it.
Didn't they
Yeah.
say?
Long
Yeah, I don't
hair.
like that either.
I unfortunately cannot look past that.
I can.
But paper bag over my head, maybe. But
Personality wise, on a different body,
personality wise, him as a person,
it's great.
perfect. Yes.
So, do you think Benji was just doing what his grandfather wanted to? He was just lying about it the whole time.
No.
I mean, it would make sense.
I
if
think
he's taking.
Benji has something to prove, and he feels inadequate because of his age, and he obviously is taking up the mantle, so to speak, that his grandfather did. But I think because his grandfather failed, like he feels like he has something to prove, and
Yeah.
everyone continuously doubts him. Like when he talked about Maud being always like making the decisions for him,
Yeah.
like obviously that's a very immature way of thinking, and I think he's that age because of what he did.
Yeah.
Because if he was older, he wouldn't have done that. I don't think.
Well, I think the quote in the beginning kind of rings true for like the whole book and for multiple people. It was I'll tell it to you as best as I can and promise to be honest in my tale bearing. If I'm not, that's hardly my fault. To tell a story is in some part, to tell a lie, isn't it? And he
That's what
lied.
Benji said?
No, that was just the beginning of
Yeah.
the book.
Yeah.
But the gargoyle did say that. Bartholomew said that at the end of the book. But, like, Benji told her a story, spun it, and then lied. And I texted Katarina because at, like, 77% through, they offered her knighthood. And I was like, that is so sweet.
I know.
And
she has somewhere to go. And I was like, that was just literally a trick.
It was a trick. It was ulterior motives.
And that made me so sad.
Yeah. I think I was more frustrated that the diviners actually died.
Yeah.
That got me when she saw one's body with the heart
sword
weaver. That part I was like, crap. Like something actually.
Because honestly, the second
girls.
plot could literally be her collecting the girls.
Yeah.
Like the second book could be about we need to get them back.
Yeah,
And like,
that was really
but I think
sad.
that's going to be her motivation
that's true.
to continue to defeat. She's going to have to defeat Benji. Something's going to have to happen with him.
When they died, they turned into moths, right? Like the diviners.
I don't really
the
know.
moth thing was confusing.
No, because
It was confusing.
Whenever she was with the heart sword weaver, she said the only thing I can do is this is the closest thing to a burial I can get, and there was a bunch of moths down there. So I wonder if they turned into moths when they died.
So what was the process that she talked about? They were something, and then they cocooned, and then they hatched into moths. What are they before? The worms.
Oh, so
Do you
I don't
think
know.
that plays into it?
I don't know.
I don't know. I was confused by that too. I don't feel like that was tied up, but also that could be tied up in the next book.
Could.
Yeah,
There was a lot of information.
As per usual with
Yes.
Rachel.
I love it though. Like
I thought it was funny that like idleweed was literally just weed. They get the munchies
when they left, and when they went to Colson Fire. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
When they left, and all of them went out and partied. I was cracking up. I was like, these girls have no idea.
So when I was looking at 1-star reviews, I don't think it's the one I picked, but it was basically like, I hate this book because it's one big frat party.
It was not one bit.
I kind of get it.
No, they literally had one night of freedom and then they all died. So excuse them for having a little bit of fun while they were alive. I mean, Jesus.
Did y'all get Kit vibes from Benji? The ending was like,
oh my gosh,
I was like,
didn't
fearless.
compare it, but now
100%. That was my first thought. I was like, Benji is Kit.
Benji is Kit.
Mm-hmm. Tricked her the whole time. Betrayed her at the end.
Yeah.
Benji is Kit.
Wanted to marry her. Literally, the whole book, I was like, I wonder if it's going to turn out this way. And then it did, and I was like, oh my God, it's Kit.
It's so frustrating.
I hope that's not a spoiler if you haven't read Fearless.
That he turned on Rory.
Yeah. Which is why I think the knighthood thing is also still sweet, because Rory and Maud had good intentions behind that.
When she became part of the knighthood, the way that he pushed her to want to swear her loyalty to him as a diviner, that's when I was like, he has something that he needs.
That's when I started getting fishy vibes from him too. I was like, why?
Yeah.
And then Rory, our king, was just like, absolutely not. This is not happening.
I love that he has a theft problem. Like, my man's got sticky fingers.
Did you not love that he was like a consent king? Like he was a consent king.
Oh yeah.
Like
he's
he
like,
was
I
like,
need you to
can I
tell
touch
me.
you? I need you to say yes. I need you. And I was like,
And just the
Okay,
fact that
sir.
he never pushed her to take her shroud off.
and he put it back on her.
Oh my
when it
gosh,
fell off.
yes.
I was like,
Wow.
Rory, my
He
man.
respects her so
Love
much.
that.
Rory,
He did.
my man.
And then didn't he do something against Hamlin, the guy that was like trying to get her in the grass?
Yes.
Wasn't what did
He
he
like
do?
physically assaulted
Yeah,
him
I
at
think
least
he just
twice.
physically assaulted him because
At least twice, because then he kept trying to like. He came on to her the second time.
and then he started getting jealous over Benji started getting jealous over Rory, which was another red flag. And I
Which
was
is
like,
weird because they're like 10 years apart.
right? But I don't think he wanted her for like romance. I think he wanted her for
To
who
be
she
his queen,
was.
essentially.
Yeah,
he
because
probably
people
knew.
feared her,
Yeah.
and people thought that she was a good
That's
omen.
so weird.
And so he probably just wants that at his side,
That's
so that
so
way he gains a better name for himself.
Were y'all surprised initially that some of the knights were girls?
No.
I
No.
thought knights were
Never
always
mind.
men.
Yes,
So
but
they-
Rachel is a very inclusive writer.
I honestly never would have thought twice about that, to be honest.
Well, they just kept saying she before they like officially introduced
Yeah.
Maud, and I was like,
Yeah.
what are they talking about? And then I was like, oh, it's a knight. Like I didn't realize that.
I would have literally never second guessed that at
I
all.
didn't think anything of it.
No.
That's interesting.
I was surprised that the gargoyles were once humans.
Yeah.
a
The
lot of people
fondling
in Fable
thing-
guessed that.
Yeah.
So the fondling thing was interesting to me. That it's not just fondlings that she takes, like the ones that are
It's
almost
the sick
dead.
ones.
The ones that are
Yes.
dead.
Mm-hmm.
Or on the brink of dying, yeah. And then
And
she
she
kills
brings them
them
back to
and then
life.
brings them back to life.
So pretty much every time they drown, she's literally killing them, bringing them back
Mm-hmm.
with the
And
magic
I
of the
thought
water.
it was
Because it
interesting.
said, like it said, there's eternal magic in the water upon the Tor.
Yeah.
And those who drink it are just that, eternal.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so that's like two things. One, how's she gonna? She's probably like one of the gods and has to have
Is she
the
the
water,
water?
every
Yeah.
10 years or
Right.
whatever.
But
or
she's
so-
almost more powerful because she has the spring right there. She doesn't have to go looking for it like the
Well,
rest
But
of
they
them do.
buried the
They
spring
buried the spring.
by like taking down the cathedral.
Yeah, but before that, when she
Yeah.
had access to it all the time,
Yeah.
she had access, but none of
So
the other
like,
omens did.
I wonder what's gonna happen now because she can't.
That's what I'm saying. What is happening to
Why did they
Sybil?
not put a vial in her pocket of the spring water? You know what I mean?
Because the abyss, like she drank from the spring, but her whole face was stone.
Yeah,
And she'd been around for centuries.
which means Sybil probably will turn that way.
That's what I'm saying. What
Unless
if
they
the
can
second
figure
book
out how to reverse
ends?
it?
What if the second book ends as her as a like a gargoyle
I will literally
or
not.
a stone figure? That's
Rachel,
my guess.
So intriguing.
Please God, don't do that to me. I don't want to hate you. That will make
What
me
if
hate you.
Rory starts drinking it so they can be matching statues?
Honestly,
Immortal together.
putting
that
that
seems
in
like
there.
something he would do.
Yeah,
He would.
That seems like something he would do.
He would.
Rachel is so good at magic systems.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I loved
unique
it.
magic systems.
The other thing though with the springs is that the dreams
Mhm.
were from
The
abyss.
The abyss, yeah.
they weren't
She-
like
they weren't
her
even real.
visiting the so they were what she wanted them to be.
Yeah.
They weren't visiting the gods or anything.
So is the spring actually magic, or is it just something that gives you eternal life, but it ends up turning you to stone?
Probably.
I vote that one.
Probably.
I don't think it's magic, but it's not
It's not
what they thought it
think.
was.
It's like every omen. There's two sides to it,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
an offensive and a defensive one.
Yeah.
So like, yes, you can live forever, but you're also going to turn to stone.
Which is exactly how she did the tarot cards in
Yeah.
Shepherd King.
Oh yeah.
That is so true.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, okay, which one did y'all like better, Shepherd King or this one?
Shepherd King.
Right now, Shepherd King, but I like the romance better in Night and the Moth, and
Yeah.
I needed more romance, but I also just the magic system was so intricate in Shepherd
Yeah, it was.
King.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
So
that's
intricate.
I like the magic system better in Shepherd King.
I do
but
too.
the plot and the romance more in Night and the Moth.
Agreed. That's
Two
where I'm
Twisted
at.
Crowns is like in my top 5 books ever.
Yeah.
It was good.
So I wonder if the second book will be better.
I don't know.
You know?
Well,
I
I feel
only
like-
liked Two Twisted Crowns better because I have never read a series where it was like a dual
Story.
romance subplot where
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
the switch,
Yeah.
and I didn't expect it to be better than the first.
Well, I
That's
honestly
true.
also feel like we don't like Rachel's first books more because she has to build the world and it's
Which-
a lot. And
I
so
thought this was very simple world.
it jumped
building.
right in with this
Somebody
one.
Yeah.
like ripped her on a 1-star review, and it was talking about how like small that like they literally could travel very easily. You know what? I appreciate that. I'm sick and tired of seeing these people in boats for 3 weeks. Like
Yeah.
I really appreciate
It
that
was
they
just-
could be on foot and get to the cathedral in a day.
Yeah.
Love that.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part. I'm like, you girl, travel the whole place. In a
Travel
week. Like,
the whole place.
because meanwhile, Metal Slinger, they're on a boat for 3 weeks. And
Yeah.
that
Same with
gets-
Shield of Sparrows.
yes. So I actually enjoyed the small world building.
Skip that part. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how close everything was.
I will say though, with how I wouldn't say like I don't know. I guess her world building is intricate because she can do it so quickly. But with how in depth her world building is, I don't know why she only sticks to 2 books.
I know.
Like
feel
she
like,
could
yeah.
drag both of these out to 5 or 6 books.
True. But thank you, Rachel, for not doing that.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Because
Agreed.
then we start these books
And then never finish.
guild that
But I-
have 7 books in them.
I
That's
think,
true.
I think it's done the best way because it's done that way.
That's true.
And it almost forces her to write it that way and not, it's intricate, but simply intricate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
I don't know.
But
I loved it.
Yeah. I'm happy they're 2 books because otherwise I feel like it makes them better that way.
Yeah.
Or else she'd just be.
It's just a
filling
shame,
them.
though, that she has to, like, picture all of this,
Yeah.
and then she gets 2 books out of it. You know?
I know.
As an author, I would be like, let's add more to it.
I wonder if that's her choice or
Her publisher. Mm-hmm. That's possible.
But she had so much success with the Shepherd King series
I know.
that she probably, like, it probably works for her.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to read a Fable review that I thought was good.
Oh, yeah.
So someone from our book club, Crystal reads, 5-star, so beautiful and enchanting, an original and captivating gothic romantasy. I love her little gargoyle sidekick. The ending suggests that there will be another book. The writing style was confusing at times. I had to go back and reread certain parts, but other than that, it was great.
Agreed.
I fully agree with that.
There was a lot that I had to, especially.
The first 20% was over my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's
I
that
felt
word
like
that we have no idea what
ignoble?
Ignoble.
She said it like 20 times.
I still don't know what that
think
means.
I don't
like
either.
Ignoble. I looked it up on my Kindle. Ignoble, it's like righteous almost.
Oh.
I think.
Well, noble is like righteous. I would think ig would be the opposite.
Okay, maybe not.
So I don't know. I have no idea. Let me look it
Because
up.
the
'cause I'm
one of
curious.
the contexts that she used it in,
Made it seem like it was a noble
Yes.
or like a
like to well, no, maybe not noble. What?
either of low birth or family, not noble,
Okay.
not illustrious, plebeian, common, humble, not honorable, elevated, or generous.
Did she use it when she was talking about Rory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they said he was an ignoble knight.
Yeah.
Okay,
But like
that
they
makes
used
sense.
it
But
so
she-
much, it went.
Yeah.
If you're a Kindle girly,
There were a ton of words in this book.
I
that
had
was
to
like,
use my Kindle dictionary so many times.
Honestly, I would get a Kindle again solely for the use of the dictionary.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think I don't necessarily like books where I don't know all the words, but I feel like in these kind of settings, they do talk like that.
Yeah.
Like it makes
Yes.
sense in these kind of settings.
Like when she kept saying pith, I was like, girl.
It made sense. It just
I'm gonna
made me
take
feel
that
real
into
dumb.
my school year this year. Pith.
oh, pith.
Oh, pith.
Please do.
Make it sound like I have a list. Oh, pith. My kids are gonna be like, "Did you say piss?" No. Oh, pith. Oh, I'm taking that. That's gonna happen.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
That's going to be wild.
Okay, so one of my 1-star reviews. This one made me laugh out loud. Basic baddie goes to Middle Ages. We don't like violence, but kick everyone in the crotch. If I hear "oi" one more time, I'm gonna die. With hate from a high fantasy reader. Girl, read your high fantasy. I'm gonna take Bartholomew.
Yeah.
That's funny.
This one said I DNF'd it after I fell asleep from this snooze fest of a book. Me and
What?
you were not reading the same
Oh,
book, Nicole.
I was honestly expecting it. Megan liked it. I don't know if she loved it,
Yeah.
but she liked it, and the way she talked about it, I felt like I was gonna have a really hard time getting into it.
Yeah.
I had zero issues starting this book. I jumped right in and immediately was like, "Yes, love this book."
But I also wonder, she never read the first series. So I
Yeah.
wonder if we are
she
just,
hasn't read Shepherd King.
I wonder if we're more used to her writing
Oh, okay,
style
yeah.
and the gothic world building and stuff.
Okay, she. needs
I
to
wonder
read
if that's
that.
why.
It was definitely very gothic and eerie, which I love.
Yeah.
This would be a great Halloween read.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Someone said that the writing was bad. The characters flat and boring. No chemistry. That was wild to me because
No.
they
Oh,
had a
yeah,
lot
They
of
were
see that.
oozing chemistry,
They
so
This one said it's such an unserious and silly book, which I wasn't expecting. There's modern cuss words when the story is set in a medieval setting, which took me out of the world.
that is not modern.
I mean, okay, please tell me what medieval cuss word is then.
Pith.
Please tell me how to make it
can't
medieval.
with people.
I don't know.
I try and find 1-star reviews, and when I tell y'all, I just skip because the people that write books
I
about
don't.
these books, I'm like, that's a lot of work for you to only have 1 star for this book.
Oh yeah. Why take the time? If
Why
it's a 1
take
star,
the
I'm
time?
like, I 1-star it and move on.
Right.
Like, hated it,
It's
done.
so frustrating.
This was dumb.
because I'm
Me
like,
with
get
Summer
over
in the
yourself.
City.
Yeah, you
Well,
didn't finish that one,
I
did you?
DNF'd that thing at 10%.
And
I'm
me
not
with
surprised.
the wedding people.
She gives me. I probably shouldn't say this.
Alex
gives me the
Astor
ick.
gives us the ick.
I don't know why.
Her
I don't think we're the
TikToks
only
give me
ones.
the ick.
Ooh,
They're
okay.
very cringy.
Yeah, they are.
The one of her crying.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate when people record
So I
themselves.
kind of feel like any spice that she writes is probably.
I didn't get that far,
Ick.
honestly. They like attacked each
I
other.
mean, the
and
spice
quit.
wasn't bad in Light Lark, but I was also concerned that there was spice because it's YA. So-
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was reading it, and I was like, my kids shouldn't be reading this.
We might need to add some more to these next time.
I feel like mine has a lot.
We should have technically like 16, but.
Oh,
I
That
think
doesn't
you
look like
added 5
16.
that one time.
Oh,
And that
so we
was
only
it.
have. What is that? 9?
Yeah.
No, not
With
9.
You
brings
have
down
more
I don't
because
know.
we added 10 each.
So 15.
so
we
why did I
have like
add
11.
less? Okay.
But anyway, you want me to start?
Yeah,
Do
you
we
can
wanna
start
talk
with
about it?
yours. We made Katarina read Twilight.
I hated
I
it.
still don't regret it.
You didn't hate it. You gave it 4 stars.
You gave it 4 stars.
I probably would have done 3.5.
Hey,
I think
still,
I did do 3.
That's
I
a
think I
lot
put
better
3.5.
than what I thought you were going
I
to give
thought
it.
you
I'm
were
anyway.
actually pretty sure I
stars.
put 3.5.
I don't know,
I rounded
saw,
it
I
up.
just saw 4.
I thought you would
Um,
have given it 2.
I thought you
You know,
would
I
the
like it.
movies were terrible. I hated
Don't
them.
hate the movies.
I read all. I watched all of them.
You need to go watch the parody that they released.
There's like 3 of them. They came up on my thing. I
Wait,
haven't
what are they
watched
called?
any.
I saw one in
Uh,
theaters.
Taint Light
No,
is one of
That's
them.
scary. Don't
Yeah,
watch
there was another one too. That's what it's called.
I went to the
didn't
movies
like
and
it.
watched one of the parodies, and it was so funny.
I think I 3.5 started. Well, I'm doing like a TikTok thing on it, so you can check my reels out. I just thought it was stupid, and it was like teen love, angsty.
Yeah, that's why it was
I
the best.
absolutely hate Edward Cullen.
Katarina!
I just thought it was
I can't
weird.
look at her right now.
Okay, and also, and this will be on my TikTok reel, but this has nothing to do with the book, but in the movies, I'm assuming the books are the same. Jacob ending up with Renesmee is
Yeah, it's weird. We
is
don't talk
like
about
to
it.
me that's like what's the word?
We don't talk about it.
It's just creepy.
The imprinting thing
Yeah,
is
it was
weird.
Well, they
We
made it
just
seem
ignore it.
like no, I couldn't
We just
ignore
don't
it. It was
talk
just
about
weird. They
Now-
That never made
I got
me
pedophile
hate
You know what?
vibes
I'm going to
from
put
that.
in your TBR jar next.
Don't put New Moon.
Bride.
I'm going to put Bride.
No, I will absolutely no. I absolutely hated it. The whole thing. I didn't like it.
Okay, well, Bride is
The
with
movie
adults.
was horrible.
I'm going to put Bride in
Honestly,
your
if you
TBR.
had seen it now, I think
No,
you
I
would
still
not.
love it. I watch
I
them all the
definitely
time.
just watched all
But you
4
liked it
of
as a
them.
high schooler.
I
I
just
was there
watched
for midnight
all of them.
premieres.
Okay. Also,
You can't tell me that the transformation Jacob went through was not top tier.
his attractiveness,
Yes.
100%.
Okay, thank you.
I think Taylor Lautner's gorgeous.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
He was the only part of the movie I liked. Actually, the first movie and a half, though, I was like, he is not cute.
Oh no.
Okay,
At
but,
all.
okay,
It was
what about
It
the
was
fight
awful.
scene? What about the
Oh,
fight
yeah.
scene?
At the very end,
Yeah.
it was fake.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
it was
that's,
whole
stupid.
point.
that's the whole point. That's the big shocker.
Chris and I were watching, and we were like, that was fake. That was really stupid.
Imagine being in the theaters, having
When
no
you're, like,
idea it's coming.
12.
Is the book not like that?
I can't remember.
Remember.
Oh, I thought the fight scene in general was stupid. Them like decapitating people the way they do is stupid.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so I was sitting there
Bye,
during the
Katarina.
fight scene like, this is dumb, this is dumb, this is dumb. And then it was fake and I
we
was
should
like,
wear our
wow,
Twilight
this is
shirts
really
next
stupid.
time.
I'm wearing.
So,
it.
will
you
I
should
read the
tell
next
me.
book? Absolutely not.
Oh, this
I'm
one's better.
done.
The next one's better. They get
The
better.
movies were terrible.
And so the lion fell in love with the lamb. Top tier quote of all time.
What was that from?
The first
Twilight.
movie.
I missed that.
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
It's literally towards the end.
I just don't like, I think Edward's cringy. He
Team
got better
Edward.
by the last movie, but the first like 3 movies, I was like, oh my God,
Team
like,
Edward.
he's creepy.
I'm Team Jacob.
I think
But
that's
I
where
like-
my morally gray started. You know.
I don't think he's morally gray. I don't get that vibe. I think maybe
He's
it's
a cinnamon roll vampire.
It might be. Yeah,
he literally
yeah.
doesn't even feed on people.
Yeah, I think so too. But like maybe it's Robert Pattinson. But something
Maybe.
about him, I just don't like him.
I
And I
love
thought
him.
she was really weird until about the 3rd movie.
Oh God! Please don't get me started on Bella.
Like,
Kristen Stewart is very awkward and cringe.
I have
Yeah. I
got
think
to
she's
show
supposed to
you
be.
Yeah.
this video that one of my kids did at school.
gosh.
Because she
Of her?
binge watched Twilight at night. She had never watched it before, and she started imitating Bella.
Oh,
It was
oh my
the
gosh.
funniest thing I've ever seen. I was like, "This is the best." I need all my kids to watch Twilight because they just rip them.
Well, I
The
did
car
it
scene,
at the very beginning.
yeah.
Mhm.
It was so dumb. It was one of those things I was like, I'm gonna finish it because like
Jasper.
well, first of all, it comes off Netflix at the end of June.
Yeah.
So
What?
Chris and I were like, we have to watch it. And like the second and third were okay. The first and the fourth were horrible. I hated both of those, or all three of those. But we were like, we have to finish it. It's like a train wreck that we can't like stop watching.
If I'm being honest, I don't even know what happened in Eclipse. I know what happened in the first, second, and fourth. But what happened in Eclipse?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Oh,
No,
didn't Jacob come out to her dad, or is that in Breaking Dawn?
that's not the last one.
What the heck happened in Eclipse?
I don't remember.
I'm gonna have to go back and look that up.
I just
Oh, the ending was terrible too. The ending was he basically just like
Of them laying in the
reinforced her love for him, and I was or his love for her, and I
field?
was
And
like,
she's a vampire now.
there was
She gets shield.
No, not until the end of Breaking Dawn.
Oh.
One.
You were talking about it in the Eclipse. Okay.
Yeah.
But what happened?
I don't remember.
No, they literally ended in a field, and he put the ring back on her or something.
Well, that's because he left her.
Yeah, but he left her in the second movie, not the third.
I'm having to look up what happened. in
I don't
Eclipse.
remember. Anyways, I read Heartless Hunter.
And loved it.
I loved it so much. I put it off, and I'm not, like
Hadn't you read it before?
No. Okay, I started reading it before when I got it in my book of the month, and then I only read like 3 chapters and then put it down.
It was in
but
book of the
I
month?
wasn't
That's interesting.
into fantasy then, really.
Yeah.
Like I had
And then
just
you loved
gotten
it.
into like Fourth Wing, and then I started
Yeah.
reading like ACOTAR and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So it's not one that you should go into if you don't really want listen or.
I mean,
read fantasy.
honestly, I think it is a very easy beginner fantasy. I just wasn't into it
Yeah.
then. I don't know what it was about it back then.
Yeah,
It was like a year and a half ago.
that's interesting.
I just wasn't feeling it. But I binged it this time, and then I couldn't stop thinking about the second book, so I binged the second book too.
Was it long?
No, they were like
They're like
350 pages.
Yeah, they're not
350. I read Rebel Witch.
Was it as good?
It was not as good as the first one, but it was still good.
Okay.
Like Heartless Hunter, I think I gave 4.5. Rebel Witch, I'd give 4.
Okay.
But it was still really good. Yeah.
Had a good ending.
Yes.
Okay.
And it tied it up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
I
It
can
was
deal
a
with
wild
that.
ending. The ending was wild for sure. The whole book was good. And like there's plot twists in it that you're like, oh my gosh, did that really
Nice.
just happen?
Ooh, okay.
It's on my list.
It's on
I'll
my
read it at
list
some
too.
point.
I think you both would like it.
Okay.
It's Witch and Witch Hunter, and then
And I've
Enemies
never
to
read
Lovers.
anything like that, so I
Mhm.
need to read. I need to get a witch under my belt.
The banter is fantastic.
Are they enemies to lovers?
Yes,
Okay.
they're
Oh, that
enemies.
makes sense if he's hunting
Enemies
her.
to lovers to enemies to lovers.
Okay.
Like enemies to lovers,
And then something happens.
then back to enemies, then to lovers.
Oh,
Again.
that's how Trial of the Sun Queen is. The second one, at least.
Yeah, it's.
Oh.
They're still not together at the end of the second one.
I mean, they're together at the end of the second one because, but like, okay, I can't tell you anything because it
Everything
ruins it.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't say anything then.
I'm not saying.
I want to
anything.
read it at some point.
I do too.
Yeah, but it's really good.
Is it on
Okay.
Kindle Unlimited?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
It is.
Maybe we'll do that for an episode.
I
We
don't
talked
That
about
might
it.
be
what
like a
yours was.
fall time book for me.
Yeah.
Like wait,
Yeah.
which
Mhm.
October?
Mhm.
It for sure
That's what
would
I'm
be a good
feeling.
one.
Ooh, okay. So I read The Trap by Katherine Ryan Howard. I gave it 3.75 stars. I loved the idea of it. It was different POVs. The
The murderer was a POV.
the murder was a POV, which I guess immediately I texted her. I was like, "Is this the murder?" Because it was kind of vague how they talked about it. But
Oh, for the
It
first half
was-
of the book, I don't think you're supposed to know that that's who that is.
oh, really?
I didn't pick up on
The
it.
first
I had a
time-
thought, but I wasn't sure.
I wonder if it was easier to guess because it was in a different voice. It was in a man's voice.
Yeah. And the
So-
writing, I think, was different, too.
Yes.
It was like
and it was.
italicized.
Oh, really?
Where'd you read it?
I
On Kin-
listened to it.
Okay, if I remember correctly, his chapters were italicized and the rest weren't. So you
Oh.
knew it was
What's
something
that
else.
book that we read that did that? Where the page before it was what have I read? And
Things
it
we
was
leave unfinished. Was that like that?
and it was the killer. Oh no, that's a part of the
Oh.
that Jennifer Barnes series that I've read.
The Naturals.
Yes,
I've
it's
read
like
that.
the killer is the
Yes.
italicized.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I knew I was like, but the 3 point of views are the killer, the sister of the girl who's been abducted most recently,
And
and,
then the
someone
girl.
who works in the Garda.
Oh, yeah.
The Garda.
Yeah, because it's British,
Irish.
isn't it?
They're
Irish.
Irish.
That's what it is.
And their accents were so thick. I literally
so
could
funny.
not speed it up.
I
I had to
read
listen
it.
on like 1.15.
That was when I won on Goodreads, and I read it before it came out. I think you have it. I think I'd let you
Oh.
borrow it maybe.
I think I have it.
I
somewhere.
really
You have
liked
it.
it, but the way it ends, I don't know if I want to say this, but it ends on like someone's missing still, and it's not answered at all.
Yeah.
I
don't
didn't
remember
like
that. I read it a while ago.
It was
years
the
ago.
sister that they thought was missing.
Yeah.
Her sister
She was
who's
in a
been
commune,
looking for
isn't
her.
she, or something?
Yes,
Yeah,
she
okay, I
went to
remember
be
that.
like freaking off the grid. The sister tries looking for her and ends up getting taken and is
Yeah.
gone at the
Yeah, I
end of
do
the book.
remember that.
And you're just and I was
You're like, what?
what? Yeah,
So, did you notice in the book that they talked about the Nothing Man?
I think I remember it talking about that briefly.
Okay, so she wrote a book called The Nothing Man that's all from a murderer perspective. And if I remember
Oh.
correctly, I think the murderer refers to it because I think he used that as his
Yes, the guy that he like did all of his
stuff based off of is based on one of her other real books. Which is kind of interesting.
Oh, I kind of like
Yeah,
that.
so she just refers to it and she's like, or he basically is like, yeah, like this guy in this book, that's what I want to be.
I have
it's actually a book she wrote.
too much
Oh.
anxiety to be reading all that.
I thought that was cool. I
really enjoyed her writing style.
Yeah.
It was easy to follow. I just
Mhm.
did not like
Love the
that
actual
she
story.
left me like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, where the girl
Yeah.
at? She
We should-
spent all that time looking for her sister,
And
now
then
she's
nothing.
missing.
We should read The Nothing Man and just see. I'd be curious. I would read it. I
I
would
wonder if it
definitely
has
read it.
any answers.
It was written
Too.
before.
Right, but if he mirrors his methods off the Nothing Man,
Oh.
I wonder if he carried him out the same way.
Maybe. That would be interesting.
That would be interesting. So, do we
Yay.
need to pull from our
Favorite
Yeah,
part.
for July.
This makes me actually
gosh.
nervous.
I get so excited
You
about
go
this
first.
part.
I
Me?
get nervous. Yeah. Please let it be Twilight again.
You didn't put that in there multiple times, did you?
Maybe.
What is it?
From Blood and Ash. You
Oh,
said that's
no,
another
okay.
vampire one too.
It is.
Did I put that in there? I think I did.
I don't know.
From Blood and Ash, though, is really good.
No,
I actually
didn't.
have heard good things. I had just always said I've heard it's Jennifer Armentrout, isn't it?
Yes.
I've heard people hate the series.
The series is awful.
That's
I
what I've
DNF'd at
heard.
the third one.
Okay, that's
But
what I've
the
heard. That's why I've always been like,
first
meh.
two- The first two
Are
were
really
so
good.
good.
Okay, are they on
But-
Kindle Unlimited?
Maybe.
Okay, I need
The
to look.
first one, I honestly would
So
reread
good.
the first one. Again. It
Really?
was so good.
Okay.
Because it's just, I loved the whole vampire like system and how it worked and who he was. Loved it.
That's
It was
really weird.
so
It's another
good. I
vampire
I think
one.
I might
But-
actually like have it
Oh, okay.
because I've wanted to read it.
But
I've not been against reading it. I've just heard that the whole series is just
okay.
not good.
Yeah.
Don't like get your hopes up in finishing. Well, if
Okay.
you want to, but
That sounds like a book for me.
I
So it sounds like a book for me. I haven't finished series ever. So I
yeah.
can just read the first
So
one.
you might want to read the second one. The second one's
Okay.
just as good.
Yeah.
But
How many
then
are there?
There's a ton, and then she did prequels.
Oh.
But
Okay.
people also say who don't finish the series by book 3, her writing style completely changes. Everything that starts happening is so out of character and like not with her normal writing.
Oh.
And it's
so you
almost
can
like
read the first two and just
yes. I really don't
Okay.
care what happens after the first 2.
Yeah.
But I loved
Interesting.
the first one.
Okay. Okay. That makes
Loved
me
the
feel
first
better.
one,
Okay.
which
What
makes
is
me
yours?
upset because I don't like leaving things unfinished. but-
Yeah.
okay. Mine is
Bride.
Bride.
Oh, what are the chances?
Oh my god. No.
I kid you not. No, you're gonna love it.
Wait, I thought it was like
Ew.
Renesmee and Jacob.
No.
Oh.
No. I mean, no. No.
Okay.
There is a werewolf, a vampire, and human. And they're 3 different worlds, and they all don't get along.
Oh.
It's
And it's
kind
just
of
a
like
one.
Is it a
Well,
love
she has a
triangle?
second book,
but it's the vampire and the werewolf get together.
Listen, this will be
Oh,
my
weird.
first Allie Hazelwood book.
Really?
but ugh,
It's one of my favorites, honestly.
I don't love her.
The vampire and the werewolf get together.
Oh, so not even the girl.
No, not even the human. No.
Interesting.
Bye, Bella.
Yeah, I have it. If you want to, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
but
It's just cool.
if you want to read a physical book,
Is it on Kindle
I
Unlimited?
don't know.
I'll look real quick.
I don't know, but I actually loved it. And the second book is coming out soon.
Oh.
Mate, right?
Okay, I will say there's one weird,
I've heard that. I know
Weird
what
thing.
happens because I've
the
heard
nodding,
people. But
but apparently that is an
Uh-huh.
actual thing that happens. Like it's a
dogs.
It's a correct. Well, it's a werewolf.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I
The
know.
nodding.
Okay,
We'll talk after.
I'll
It's like
tell
a
you what it
thing.
means.
Uh huh.
after.
Yeah. Mhm.
But that's
Oh, I think I know what that is solely from like a dog perspective.
Yeah. Uh huh. Uh huh.
that's the only. Weird
I heard that was
part
in that
I
book.
was like,
Blech.
I'll just
This
add it
is
to the list of
weird.
things I've never read before.
Exactly. But I mean, if you look past that,
It's
the
great.
story is good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only weird thing.
You can skip it.
know? Anyways. Okay. Oh my God.
What?
Here for the cake,
Yay!
but
You
you're
put
not
that before you had even read it, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that's funny.
That's
You were gonna read it
hilarious.
too.
Yeah, I have it literally
Oh my gosh, we
downloaded
made
on my
these forever
Kindle.
That's
ago.
so
Oh, that's
funny.
so funny.
It's literally downloaded on my Kindle.
Oh my, you're
Nice.
gonna love
and
it.
I wanted to read this.
Oh,
It's
that's
on.
funny.
It's on my top 10. Of
I'm so
reads for the year.
excited.
That's
Okay.
hilarious.
This
And
was
the
a good
second one
goal.
comes out in March. There's a second one coming
I
out.
saw that.
What is with vampires?
We
That's
manifested
crazy.
this.
2 in a row, and then you pick one too.
I'm just saying.
That's funny.
I think you'll like Brad.
I hope I do.
Is it long?
It's pretty short,
Okay.
but like I always say, if you love Twilight, you're gonna love Brad.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Anyways,
I'll have
What
to
are we
hear
talking
your
about next
vampire
week? We're
stories.
talking about
our
Top
mid-year
10?
check-in.
Yeah,
Yes.
mid-year
The faves
check-in.
and fails of so far of this year. So
Yeah.
check
That'll be
back in
interesting.
next week to see what we thought was really good and what was really not good.
Yeah.
There's quite a few on my not good lists.
yeah, same.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
All right. See you
Bye,
guys.
Bye, guys.